explanation were you given for the tech that you got?
I'll take the official questions. There wasn't an explanation for the tech that she got. I think it was pretty obvious that stuff was brewing, right? When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen.
June 17th, 2025, at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The Indiana Fever, led by their superstar, Caitlin Clark. Yep, the one who's been breaking records and selling out arenas since her Iowa Hawkeye days, are facing off against the Connecticut Sun in a Commissioner's Cup matchup. This game was supposed to be a celebration of the Fever punching their ticket to the championship game. But instead, it turned into a viral moment that had fans, players, and coaches screaming,
To WNBA Fight Night, or as some people are saying, WNBA Raw. What a game that was. We had it all. We had basketball, we had fighting, we had blonde on blonde crime.
What in the actual heck is going on? Think of it like a blockbuster movie where the refs forgot the script, the players started improvising, and the crowd was ready to storm the court. Spoiler alert, it's a mess, and we're here for every second of it. Let's start with the star of the show, Caitlin Clark. This woman's not just a player, she's a phenomenon. The #1 overall pick, a global sports icon, and the WNBA's golden goose. She's out there dropping 20 points, 6 assists, and sinking 4 of 6 from deep, making it look like she's playing NBA 2K on rookie mode. But here's the catch. Every time Caitlin steps on the court, it's like she's got a neon sign on her back that says, "Foul me, please." And the Connecticut Sun, they were reading that sign like it was a bestseller. Midway through the third quarter, with the Fever up 55-45, things start getting spicy. Caitlin's got the ball at the top of the key, doing her thing, when Connecticut's JC Sheldon decides it's time for some extracurricular activity. Picture this.
This is, of course, Sophie and Sheldon going down the floor. Sophie tries to wrap her up, and Sheldon gets to the floor, and all hell breaks loose. And Sophie said, "I'm not having it. I'm not having it. We'll go. We'll go." So there's that.
Sheldon's guarding Caitlin like she's trying to win a staring contest. But instead of stealing the ball, she reaches up and, boom, pokes Caitlin right in the eye. Not a love tap, not a whoops, my bad, but a straight-up swipe to the face that had Caitlin clutching her eye like she just got hit with a plot twist. The crowd's gasping, the refs are squinting, and Caitlin's like, "Yo, did you just try to rearrange my face?"
So this kind of started it. They're going back and forth, and Caitlin like, "Hey, forget you." Boom, shoved her right there, right? Then Marina Mabry already shoving Caitlin, right? She jumping into it, shoving Caitlin to the side, right? Now we get further into the game. Watch this. Watch how this happens, right?
Now, if this was a one-off, we'd call it a bad play and move on. But here's where it gets wilder than a soap opera cliffhanger. Caitlin, understandably ticked off, pushes Sheldon away to get some space, like, "Back up. I need to see if I still have both eyeballs." And then, out of nowhere, Connecticut's Marina Mabry swoops in like she's auditioning for the NFL. She body checks Caitlin so hard it's like she's trying to tackle her into next week. Caitlin hits the deck, the crowd loses it, and the refs? Oh, they're just standing there, probably wondering if they left their whistles at home. You'd think a blatant body check would get Mabry tossed faster than a bad Tinder date. But hold up, this is where the WNBA's officiating turns into a comedy sketch. After what feels like a 20-minute review, seriously, they took longer than my grandma deciding what to order at brunch. The refs come back with a decision that's got everyone scratching their heads. JC Sheldon gets a flagrant one for the eye poke, which, fair enough, that's a start. But Marina Mabry, who just turned Caitlin into a human piñata, she gets a measly technical foul. And here's the kicker.
Right? So you see Sheldon guarding up, playing pretty good defense. This is what I was going to give her credit on. She was not allowing Caitlin to penetrate, get into the paint, deny her the path to the basket, right? Boom, she bumps. Caitlin drives around.
Caitlin Clark, the one who got poked and plowed, also gets a technical foul for reacting in an unsportsmanlike manner. Excuse me? She got assaulted twice in 10 seconds, and she's the one in trouble? That's like blaming the pizza for getting eaten. The crowd's booing so loud it's shaking the rafters, and social media? It's a war zone. Fans are on X like, WNBA refs are out here acting like they're auditioning for a clown convention. One user posted, Marina Mabrey shoving Caitlin Clark to the ground and not getting ejected? That's not basketball. That's a crime scene. Another fan straight up said, Caitlin needs an enforcer because these refs are letting her get mugged out there. And they're not wrong. Stats show Caitlin's been on the receiving end of more flagrant fouls than anyone in the league.
Drives around. Look, good footwork. Okay, you stand in front of her. I give it to you. I give it to you. Boom, bumps again, spin around, boom. She's bumping, getting bumpy. And then that happened.
Wait, the drama's just getting started. Fast forward to the final minute of the game. The Fever are up 87-70. The game's basically over, and JC Sheldon's racing for an easy layup. Enter Sophie Cunningham, the Indiana Fever's resident badass, who's had enough of the Suns' nonsense. Sophie's like, not in my house, and wraps Sheldon up in a bear hug that sends her to the floor. Was it a hard foul? Oh, absolutely. Was it a body slam? Nah, let's not get carried away. Sophie's making a statement. You mess with Caitlin, you mess with all of us. But the refs, still recovering from their earlier nap, call it a flagrant 2, eject Sophie, and then things go full-on Royal Rumble. Sheldon and Connecticut's Lindsay Allen get in Sophie's face, and suddenly it's a 2-on-1 showdown under the basket. The refs finally wake up and eject all 3.
With 1 minute left, and all hell broke loose between JC Sheldon and Sophie Cunningham, and it is very clear the Indiana Fever, some of these girls on this team are finally fed up. Once again,
Sophie, Sheldon, and Allen, like they're handing out parking tickets. The contrast is laughable. Mabrey's blindside hit on Caitlin gets a wrist slap, but Sophie's hard foul to protect her teammate gets her sent to the showers. It's like the refs decided protecting the lead is a bigger crime than protecting a player. Make it make sense now. Let's talk about the real MVP of this chaos. Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White. This woman didn't just step up to the post-game press conference. She rolled up with a flamethrower. When reporters asked about the officiating, Stephanie was like, hold my clipboard. I got this. She didn't just criticize the refs. She delivered a masterclass in controlled rage that had everyone nodding like, preach. Her exact words? When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, this is what happens. It's been happening all season long. Not just this game. They got to be better. Mic drop.
hey, we're not talking about your basketball. We're talking about the WNBA, WWE Raw circus that you got going on right now, and we all know this incident with Sophie stems from the incident that was clearly not handled correctly.
Stephanie wasn't playing. She called out the WNBA's officiating as a league-wide issue, pointing out that the game's gotten faster, stronger, and more physical, but the refs are stuck in 1997 like they're still using flip phones. Players are faster, they're better, they're bigger, they're stronger, she said. Everybody's getting better except the officials. Ouch. That's the kind of truth bomb that makes you wonder if the refs are out here officiating with their eyes closed. And get this. She's already been fined once this season for calling out bad officiating. But she's like, fine me again. I don't care. Someone's gotta say it. The fans were eating it up. On X, one user posted, Stephanie White just said what every WNBA fan's been thinking. The refs are a hot mess. Another wrote, Stephanie's out here risking fines to protect her players. That's a real coach. And let's be real, she's not wrong. The WNBA's got a problem when their biggest star, Caitlin Clark.
What is this right here, fam? No way you just reach for Caitlin's eyes like that, her face, whatever the case may be. You reach for her head and you scratch her. What are you reaching for right here? What is that? Did she think she was gonna shoot?
Is getting treated like a punching bag, and the refs are out here handing out technicals like they're candy at a parade. Speaking of Caitlin, let's give her some flowers. Despite getting poked, shoved, and penalized, she still balled out, leading the Fever to an 88-71 win and a spot in the Commissioner's Cup Championship. That's $500,000 on the line, But more importantly, it's a chance to show the league what they're made of. And off the court, Caitlyn's still winning. She just got named an All-Star captain with a record-breaking 1,293,526 fan votes. That's right, the fans know who the real deal is, even if the refs don't.
I don't know, man. That's about the best I can give her. Maybe she thought she was about to pull up and trying to put her hand where the ball might be coming. But fam, you literally slapped her in the face, man. Slapped her right in the eyes, man. Come on, fam. Then Caitlyn shoves her, right? Shoves her off of her. Like, get away from me.
But let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about one game or one player. The WNBA's got a systemic problem, and it's bigger than Caitlin Clark getting fouled into next Tuesday. The league's officiating is like a bad Wi-Fi signal. Spotty, inconsistent, and driving everyone nuts. Other players, like Atlanta Dream's Brittany Griner, have been vocal about it too, with Griner once yelling at refs to be FING better after a game. And when coaches and players across the league are saying the same thing, it's not a coincidence. It's a crisis. Here's the analogy. Imagine the WNBA as a Michelin star restaurant. The players are the chefs, cooking up gourmet dishes with flair and precision. Caitlin Clark's out here serving 5-star jumpers and no-look passes. But the refs? They're the waiters who keep dropping the plates, spilling sauce everywhere, and then blaming the chefs for the mess. The league's gotta train these waiters better, or the whole dining experience is gonna tank. And when your biggest draw, Caitlin Clark, is getting targeted with flagrant fouls at a record rate, you're not just failing the players, you're failing the fans and the business.
Body checking Caitlin Clark to the ground. JC Sheldon all over her. Riding her. Pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye. Oh, man. Caitlin Clark needs to start wearing goggles, folks. Caitlin Clark's going to need to start wearing goggles.
Now, let's talk about Sophie Cunningham for a hot minute. This woman's jersey sales are through the roof, and she's being called Caitlyn's bodyguard on social media. Why? Because she's out here taking a stand, saying, "You mess with our star, you're gonna deal with me." Sophie's flagrant 2 foul wasn't about hurting anybody. It was about sending a message. The refs might not protect us, but we've got each other's backs. And the fans? They're loving it. One ex-post called her the enforcer the fever need, and another said, "Sophie Cunningham's out here fighting for Caitlyn like she's in a Marvel movie. Salute, Sophie, salute."
Start wearing goggles. Bumps up on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark says, "Get your hands off me." And then here comes Marina Mabrey. Boom! Exploding Caitlin Clark like a safety coming downhill in the NFL. There was no flop there. Marina Mabrey